Today, we're diving deep into a topic that affects millions of us, often completely silently: LDL cholesterol. So let's get right into it. What if right now, this very second, a slow, quiet process was happening inside your body, narrowing the critical lifelines that feed your heart and your brain? This isn't some sci-fi movie plot. It's a daily reality for so many people. Well, that threat has a name: LDL cholesterol. And seriously, spending the next few minutes with us to really get what it is, how it works, and what you can do about it, it might just be one of the most important things you ever do for your health. All right, first things first. What in the world is this bad cholesterol we're always hearing about? Let's break it down. LDL stands for low-density lipoprotein. The easiest way to think about it is like a fleet of delivery trucks. Their job is to haul cholesterol all around your body. And cholesterol itself isn't the bad guy. We actually need it to build healthy cells. The trouble starts when these LDL trucks get a little lost and start dropping off their cargo in the wrong place, right into the delicate inner walls of your arteries. So how does this all go down? It's a pretty sneaky four-step process. First, these tiny LDL particles squeeze their way into the artery wall. Once they're stuck in there, they oxidize. You can think of it like metal starting to rust. This oxidation screams problem to your immune system, which sends in cells to clean up the mess. But they get overwhelmed. They just gorge on all this oxidized LDL and turn into these things called foam cells. These are the literal building blocks of plaque. Over years, this plaque can grow, harden, and this is the really dangerous part: it can break open, causing a blood clot that can trigger a heart attack or a stroke out of nowhere. So when do the alarm bells start ringing? It all comes down to the numbers. Ideally, you want your LDL to be below 2.6 millimoles per liter. For those of you in the US, that's under 100 milligrams per deciliter. But once you start creeping up past 4.1, you're officially in the high-risk zone. And over 4.9, that's considered very high risk, and it means you've got to take action. These aren't just numbers on a lab report, they are a direct measurement of your risk. Okay, so we get it. High LDL is bad news. But here's the good news, the really good news. We know exactly how to fight it. And the proof that lowering it works isn't just strong, it's absolutely overwhelming. If you remember one number from this whole explainer, make it this one: 26%. That's how much you crush your risk of a major cardiac event for every single 1 millimole per liter you lower your LDL. It's a direct, predictable, and frankly, life-saving formula. And it gets even more dramatic. For someone starting out with really high LDL, getting it all the way down to that optimal target can slash their cardiovascular risk by more than half. It just goes to show you that being aggressive with this really, really pays off. Now, this quote from the research is so important. What all that science speak means is simple. The more you lower your LDL, the more your risk drops. There is no magic floor where the benefits just stop. In the world of LDL, lower is always better. And look, this isn't some newfangled idea. This is built on decades of rock-solid proof. We had huge studies like WASCOPS that proved we could prevent a first heart attack. Then trials like 4S showed we could prevent a second one. And more recently, studies like Prove It showed that pushing LDL levels even lower gives you even more protection. The science has been marching in one very clear direction for a long, long time. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now for the most important part, the how. This is your action plan, your game plan for a healthier heart. Everything starts with the foundation: lifestyle. This means cutting way back on saturated and trans fats and seriously boosting your soluble fiber. We're talking oats, beans, that kind of stuff. Getting that recommended 150 minutes of exercise a week is huge too. And managing your weight, you'd be amazed. Even losing just 5 to 10% of your body weight can make a massive difference in your numbers. But sometimes lifestyle just isn't enough, and that's perfectly okay. That's where modern medicine comes in, and believe me, the toolbox we have today is incredible. Statins are the cornerstone. They can chop LDL by over 50% alone. But we've got other medications that block cholesterol absorption, and even these super powerful injectable drugs for people at the highest risk that give you another massive reduction. This chart really puts it into perspective, right? A good high-intensity statin can cut your LDL in half, sometimes more. Need more? You can add ezetimibe to get another 15 or 20% on top of that. And for those who really need to bring out the big guns, PCSK9 inhibitors can provide another massive 50 to 60% drop. It's all about using the right tools to hit your personal goal. So after all that science, what does this actually mean for your life? Let's talk about the real world, life-altering benefits of getting this under control. I mean, just look at this. This is what we're fighting for. When people successfully hit their LDL targets, we see 42% fewer hospitalizations, 34% fewer major heart attacks and strokes, and a 24% lower chance of dying. This isn't just about a number on a lab report. It's about more years of life and more life in your years. And here's a really critical point. The sooner you act, the better. Atherosclerosis isn't an overnight thing. It builds up over decades. For people with a genetic condition called familial hypercholesterolemia, or FH, their cholesterol is sky high from the day they're born. For them, starting treatment even in childhood can prevent a whole lifetime of damage before it ever gets a foothold. At the end of the day, it really just boils down to this. And this quote says it perfectly. The evidence is unequivocal. LDL isn't just linked to heart disease. It's a direct cause. And every single point you lower it translates directly into saving lives. The debate is over. And I'm going to say this one more time because it is so incredibly important. You cannot wait for symptoms. Chest pain, shortness of breath. By the time you feel those things, the disease is already advanced. Significant, often permanent damage has already been done. The only way to win this game is to be proactive and manage your numbers before you ever feel a thing. Look, your arteries can't send you a text message when they're in trouble. They can't call you up to say there's a problem. But your blood test can. So the question we'll leave you with is a simple one. Isn't it time to check their numbers? Talk to your doctor. Know your LDL. It's a simple conversation that could change absolutely everything.